Would you like to hear some tea about the movies? Ooh, it's gonna be good. Well, have you ever wondered why there's 3 Spider-Man? It's a very long story, but it's so juicy. Long story short, it all starts with Tobey Maguire's first 3 films. Everyone was having a good time. People didn't like Spider-Man 3, but it made some money, so they were gonna make a Spider-Man 4 until the director, Sam Raimi, comes out and is like, you know what? It was a really shitty time. There was a lot of studio interference. He wanted to include 1, but they wanted to include 3 villains. It was a whole thing. So he leaves, and they were trying to find a new director for Tobey Maguire. But Tobey Maguire and the rest of the cast was like, if he's out, I'm out. So everyone left, which means they had to recast Spider-Man, and that's how we got Andrew Garfield. But here's the thing. Andrew Garfield's first movie, The Amazing Spider-Man, did okay, but people had some notes. Specifically, Kevin Feige, who is a friend of Amy Pascal because they worked together on the previous X-Men films, the Fox X-Men films. Yes, Kevin Feige didn't get his start at Marvel Studios. He's been working on superhero movies forever, ever since the first X-Men movies, right? And so Amy Pascal calls up her friend Kevin and is like, hey Kevin, can you look at Amazing Spider-Man 2? Do you have any notes that you can give us? Mind you, this was all revealed in a leaked Sony email that no one knew that he had notes on the film until this email. And his notes were like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Who cares about this? He had good notes, but they were going to make Amazing Spider-Man 3, and Andrew Garfield was going to be the Spider-Man in the MCU because they were going to trade assets. They were going to put Oscorp, the building of Oscorp from the Amazing Spider-Man movies, into Avengers, and they were going to put the Avengers Tower in the Amazing Spider-Man movies as like an Easter egg that maybe they'll be merged one day. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But that all comes to a halt because Andrew Garfield got in a little trouble. Sony was going to have a big presentation in Brazil where they were going to announce a bunch of things and an Amazing Spider-Man 3. But then Andrew Garfield literally calls in sick. Yes, he pulls a Chapel Roan and doesn't show up to the presentation and tells them an hour before. And so the Sony executives are so angry. They don't care how well his movies did. They fire him. They hire Tom Holland, they put him in the MCU, and then they realize, oh wait, we can't make MCU movies, we have to keep making Spider-Man movies or Spider-Man property movies so we can keep the contract and keep ownership over the character. And that's when someone was like, well, we could make a Venom movie, and that's why we keep saying it, so they can make Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man and keep rights to Spider-Man.